Are you thinking of borrowing money to start a business? If you borrow money without knowing how much your business needs and how much you need to sell to be able to pay it back, then you and your business are surely headed for disaster. In my online courses, I teach my students how to be responsible borrowers and to avoid having more debts than what they can pay for. The secret lies in having a business plan. The truth is, having a business plan before starting a business is very, very important, most especially if you'll be borrowing money for your capital. You see, back in our time, we did not have mentors, and business plans were only an option, not a must. We thought that only big companies needed business plans, not small ones. So, when my husband and I started our business, we just had our business plan in our heads. Actually, it's more like we did not have any business plans at all. Besides, we were both good at math. My husband is an engineering graduate, while I was a math teacher. So we thought that being good with numbers made us good business builders too. The way we computed our profit was to subtract the buying price or the cost from the selling price. So, with this principle, we just think of a random number to add to the cost. A number that wouldn't sound expensive to our customers. For example, if we bought something at 100 pesos and was able to sell it at 150, a 50 pesos profit isn't bad anymore, right? Well, if you answered yes, like the way I thought many years ago, then you're at risk of losing your business or money sooner or later. Why? Because there were other things to factor in. Rent, employees' salaries, interest rates of loans, and a lot more. But we did not know any better. We focused on just selling. We kept on buying stocks to be always ready for customers. But in truth, we weren't selling much. Or we were selling at a price that did not cover all the expenses. So, what happened next? Every month, our loan interest increased. When the due date came, we had to borrow again to pay for the first loan. Next, we couldn't pay for the second loan on time, so we took out a third loan to pay for the interest of the second loan. This cycle drove our family into piles of debt. But by God's grace, miracles happened, and after 30 years, we recovered. 30 years? But that's too long. Yes, you're right. But some people don't recover at all. We had friends who went through the same cycle. They ended up having to flee the country, leaving relatives and friends, all because of unpaid debts. Looking back, it would have been best if we had a mentor, a hand that guided us through the business. So my family wouldn't have wasted so much time, money, and heartaches. Maybe God allowed things to happen so that I'd be here today as your mentor. God loves you. He sees the desire of your heart to give your family a better life. And He wants you to avoid falling into the same trap that will make you and your family suffer. So, where do I start, Mommy In? Well, if you already have the capital, that's good. But you still have to be cautious because you don't want your hard-earned money to go down the drain, right? Now, if you're going to borrow, the more you have to be cautious. Here are 4 steps to do before you touch your capital or before you borrow money to start a business. Step 1, start knowing your customers first. It's important to know what product or service you can offer them. Understand their desires, needs, and pain points. With this, you'll be able to design your product or service. You'll find this information on another video I've done entitled, What Makes People Buy? Step 2, know who your competitors are. Discover how your solution can be unique or different from theirs. Step 3, look for the best suppliers for your business. A supplier who can give you quality products at a cost that's within your budget. Again, that's why you need a business plan. Mind you, there are times when quality comes with a price. So, by having a business plan, you'll see how much capital you can set aside for quality raw materials. Step 4. After having all the information, put down your business plan in an Excel file or spreadsheet. Use the auto-computations to check how much a single centavo would affect your business. Then, name a price for your product and do the math. Check how much the profit would be after deducting all the expenses. By having a spreadsheet, you can forecast how much inventory you'll need. You'll be able to count how many employees you need versus how many you can afford. In my online classes, this is the part we study carefully. Why? because this is where you make sure that you have factored in every cost and expense. Because if you don't, you'll end up in debt or with unsatisfied customers and business losses. Knowing how much your business needs and how much you can pay is crucial. Continuous borrowing without a payment plan is dangerous. So please learn from my story. Having a detailed business plan is very important, most especially for business startups. I cannot emphasize enough just how dangerous it is to run without a plan. Business plans are really fuzzy, but your chances of success will be greater with a business plan. So do it before touching your hard-earned capital, but most especially before you borrow money to start your business. See you in the next video.